So to get into this taper, we're going to come in with our 1.5 guard on our clipper with the lever all the way closed. And we're just going to go with the grain of the hair, trying to be careful that we don't go against it in any way. Because what you don't want to do, especially on a waver, is create any patches. So I'm staying real patient here, just following the direction of his hair growth and knocking it down to that 1.5. Being very cautious, especially in the crown area. A lot of people tend to be a little lighter there. And it's a lot easier to patch them because it's like a swirl. So you want to, pay extra attention to detail there. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not going into the corners with the 1.5. And that's because we're going to keep the corners longer with this number 2 guard. Because what we noticed is when we take it down to the 1.5, it makes his corners look a lot thinner. So when we keep it, longer with this number 2, it makes the corners look a lot fuller. So that's what we're doing here. Now, before we get into the neck taper, I'm going to start lining up around the ear and nape area. And this is just going to make it a lot easier to get into the taper. And make it look as clean as possible. So I'm starting at the top of the ear and then working my way towards his nape. Being careful to not take this area up too high. Now we're going to go to the bottom and meet those 2 points in the middle. And that's how I get the nice line around the ear without, digging into the hair too much. Now we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing, starting at the round of his ear. Now we're going to go towards the bottom, keeping it as wide as possible. And I found lining this up just helps me stay a little more organized when doing the taper and helps keep that line that we just did darker. So now I'm going to come in with my trimmer and create my bald line a little below the bottom of the ear. And yes, my trimmers are 0 gap, so they're getting very close. Now we're going to follow it up with the shaver to get it a little closer to the skin and really make this taper pop. Now we're going to start this taper with the lever all the way open, going up about a finger's width. Still maintaining that same shape that we created with our bald line, which is straight across. And with this hair texture, you want to make sure that every time pass with the clipper that you're brushing down or combing down at the same time. Because the hair is very tight and curly, it just bunches up. Now right above that, we're going to do our 1 guard lever all the way open. Doing the same thing. And you'll see with this 1 guard already, it's starting to blend naturally into that 1.5 with the grain. But we still have some more steps to make it look super blendy. So now we're going to have our 1.5 guard lever all the way open. And we're going to go up a little above that 1 guard open. And you'll notice I'm setting in all my lines and then I'm going to blend down. Now we went ahead and closed that 1.5 to go ahead and line up the area in between the 1 open and the 1.5. Now for the biggest guard that we are going to use, we have our 2 guard lever open. And this should blend right into the waves. So I'm flicking out as we go up, trying not to create a harsh line. Now we're going to come back with our 1.5 with the grain to go ahead and smooth everything out and really make this blended. Now we're going to use our 1/2 guard lever open to get rid of this line right here. And we're going to start off open and gradually go ahead and close that lever as needed until we get this line blended out. So you'll see every time I pass the clipper, the hair kind of starts to bunch up, so I brush it down. Now we closed it halfway and we're just working at this line. And slowly but surely it's starting to come together. You'll see that we created a little harsh line above this area, so we're going to come back with our 1 guard open, really using the corner of the blade to blend into what we did, so we don't take it up too high. Now to blend it a little more, we're back with the 1.5. And you'll see right here I'm combing down, and as we continue to detail, that taper is coming out super tough. Now to get rid of this last line, I'm going to come in closed and gradually open up that lever as we move up. And as you can see, this taper is starting to be complete. Now we're going to go to the other side, not the other side, but we're going to the side of the head and create our bald line at the end of the eyebrow and where the ear connects to the head. And we're just balding it out with our trimmer. Now we're going to follow it up with our shaver. This shaver is the Uno foil shaver, which is really nice for areas like this that are smaller. Now we're going to go lever open, going up about a finger's width. Really trying to make sure that I cover some distance with these guidelines, because if you make them too small, it makes the taper really condensed, and I feel like those type of tapers grow back really quick, and this client prefers a nice stretched out taper. So we're coming in closed and then opening up that lever as needed. Now we're gonna have our one guard closed here, and we're inching up slowly. Now we're gonna have one guard open. And you'll see I'm kind of giving it that burst effect, and that's going to help keep the edges dark. Now for the light faint line in between, I'm coming in halfway with my half guard and working at that line. Now we're back to the clipper, no guard, detailing. Now we have our 1.5 open, blending up, and then combing as we do so. And then you see me go ahead and close that lever to go ahead and line it up a little more. Now we're back to the 2 guard open, the biggest guard. And this should blend right into the waves. And there'll be some slight choppiness towards the top, but we'll go ahead with the grain and smooth it out here in a few. Now we have our 1 guard open, and we're going with the grain to smooth out this taper. But you can see this taper came out very nice. It kept the edges dark. Now we're going to blend into the beard. And with blending into the beard, it's really just a reverse taper. So we're going in open and then blending out the line in between. Now we're here with the 1 guard. And after this 1 guard, it should pretty much blend in. And since we're here, we're going to go ahead and line up his arch. So we're starting at the top of the arch and then going to the bottom and meeting those 2 points in the middle. And this is going to help you get that nice round shape without, pushing it back too much. But so far, this taper is coming out very nice. Now we're going to go to the other side and do the same exact steps as we did on his right and on the back. So we're balding it out with our trimmer. Now with our foil shaver. And I'm telling you guys, if you will learn how to do a taper, if you are starting, you are set. Alright, because what a taper is just a fade in a smaller section. So if you can do a taper nicely, you can learn how to do a fade all the way around the head very nicely. So now we're getting rid of that line in between. And this is a very popular haircut. Once you really start your career, a lot of people get tapers. So if you can really perfect the taper and master it, you will get clients off of it. So pretty simple. Now we're back with the 1 guard open. For the line in between, we're back with our half guard. And once you find a system or a process, it gets very repetitive because you're just going to repeat the same thing over and over. And then after you're done with all your steps, you just go back and detail. And I do this for every hair texture, no matter what. And that's how I get, the blends and lineups that I want. So now we're here with our 1.5 guard open. I'm working at this line. But you can see sometimes I alternate because I save the 2 guard for the last step. But now the 1.5 is really the last step. So I had my 2 guard open first, and that 1.5 kind of blended right into it. And we're going to go ahead and line up this side since we're already here, starting with this box, and then at the top of the arch, establishing that point, then going to the bottom and meeting those 2 points in the middle. And the reason I like lining up the arch and box area first is because I feel like it makes it a lot easier to make the front lineup symmetrical. Now we're going to blend into his beard. Again, this is just a reverse taper. Now we're gonna start his lineup. So we're starting in the middle and moving towards his left side first. And this is all preference. There's not really a side that you need to go to first every time, but in this case I wanted to go to his left. And we're trying to keep it as natural as possible, not digging into his corners too much, especially since they're already light. But I want to line it up to a point where his corners appear darker. Now we're going to move towards his right side, not digging into that corner a lot, but just enough to keep it dark. And as you can see, when you put the lineup on this thing, it really brings the haircut together. It makes that taper look super clean. Now we're going to come in with the razor. And what this razor is going to do is make his lineup look super crispy. So I'm stretching out the skin in the opposite direction of which I'm using the razor. And we're just getting rid of all those little hairs that the trimmer couldn't get and taking this hairline to another level. And we are not going to use enhancements on this cut. We're going to keep it natty because it's what the client prefers. And honestly, I think it came out clean. It didn't need enhancements. So we're going to keep it natty today. And we did do the beard, but I didn't get to record the beard because I was running on a short schedule. Now we're going to go ahead and clean up the top with our scissors. Get rid of all those little hairs. And we're locked in here, man. We're focused. But this is the cut, YouTube. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this cut. But like always, family, thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys next time.